Well, students, staff, and parents, I'm Bennett Jones. I'm the proud principal at Clayton High School. Hope that you all had a fantastic holiday season and have started off 2019 in grand fashion. As we transition from the first semester to the second semester, thought this would be a great opportunity for me to share with you an update on some of the initiatives that we've implemented at the school, as well as some things we're looking forward to into 2019. And so with this, I present to you the first Clayton High School State of the School address. And so I'm going to share the screen here so that I can bring up a slide presentation and go over with you some of the things that we've implemented and some of the things that we're going to make changes for the spring semester. So as I begin, the first thing I'd like to share with you is that our schedule for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Monday, January 7th through Wednesday, January 9th. All students will report to advisory when they arrive to school on Monday. For freshmen, that is their C block. And so students will go through all 4 blocks. When they get to 4th block, they will go to lunch with their 4th block class. And so lunches will be assigned by room location for these first 3 days. There's for a couple of reasons. One is to help with overcrowding. Second is to help control student movement. But the third piece really is, as we work through schedule changes, creates a little bit of continuity as we move forward in terms of how many students are going to lunch during this time. So again, this is the schedule that we will follow for the first 3 days, and then we'll begin our schedule that I will discuss a little bit later in this presentation. As we continue as leaders in the JOCO 2020 initiative, which focuses on relationships, relevance, and innovation, we want to make sure that we are doing things that align with our overarching vision and mission for our school. Our mission for our school is to create an educational environment where positive relationships lead to academic, social, and future success for our students. We do this through providing digital learning platforms, through personalized learning opportunities, through creative scheduling, where students are able to take ownership of their learning and when they learn and how they learn, focusing that learning is the constant and time being the variable. So to support this initiative, this mission and vision, we implemented 3 initiatives at the beginning of the school year. And I'd like to take a moment to discuss each of these with you, the progress that we've seen, and maybe some changes that we're going to implement moving forward. So the first was our Flex Learning Days. Our Flex Learning Days were 6 days. During the school year, we identified that we would provide professional development to our teachers, and students would not report to campus, but instead work on learning assignments at home or through other platforms. So we implemented the first 3 in September, October, and November, and afterwards we sent out a survey to students, to staff, and to parents. We had over 1,000 stakeholders to respond to the surveys, and overwhelmingly all 3 groups supported this flex learning opportunity. So we feel like there are still areas that we can improve. There's things we can enhance and change, especially as we provide different type of assessments and assignments for students to work on, creating even more flexibility for students during the course of that day, while providing opportunities for them to interact with teachers and provide professional learning opportunities for our staff at the same time. So we're very happy with how those 3 have been implemented and been received, and we'll continue to enhance these 3 that are coming in the spring. The first upcoming is on Friday, January 18th. This is in direct response to parent and student survey data, which said overwhelmingly they wanted and liked the Flex Learning Days wrapping with a holiday. And so the first is on Friday, January 18th. The next 2 are February 27th and March 18th. These 2 dates align with early release or work days that are already scheduled. So that enhances for our teachers the professional development opportunities, because we can go a little more in depth with those opportunities there. So again, very excited about the Flex Learning Days. Certainly appreciate all the support that parents and students have given to this initiative, and we look forward to having these 3 great days in the spring of learning for all of our stakeholders in various methods. The second is the Comet Connection. This was our 9th grade initiative where 9th graders follow a separate schedule. They are clustered in one area of the building during a big part of the day in their core content classes. We facilitated year-long content classes for math and English to build foundational skills for students to be successful in future math and English courses. We also utilize standards-based teaching and learning, which really is utilized across in all of our courses, but really focusing on the standards-based reporting as well, giving parents information, qualitative information to go along with the numeric score. And I can give you an example here. If you can look at the camera, that a traditional report card has 4 numbers for the 4 classes, and that number really is all you get as a parent in terms of how your student has progressed along in that course. Whereas our 9th grade report cards not only provided the number score, but also provided details in terms of progression among the standards for their student in each of their core content courses. And this generated great conversations between students and teachers, between students, parents, and teachers, but also between teachers of different courses throughout our school, and how are we measuring the standard, how are we identifying priority standards, and how are we assessing those and building common assessments. And so the conversations that have been generated from our Comet Connection are very exciting in that we are becoming more aligned as a school, and how we, not only how we teach and how we facilitate learning opportunities for students, but also how we report that out to parents. And so we're very excited about this initiative and what it can lead for maybe in the future across our entire school. So we will continue in the 9th grade Comet Connection, but there will be some changes, especially with the lunch, as I'll talk about in just a little bit. But just again, there was the rationale for why we did this. There is a lot of research that supports that 9th grade is the pivotal year for students in terms of their high school success. So we wanted to make sure we created a nice transition and made the transition from middle school to high school as seamless as possible. And that's really what the 9th grade Comet Connection was designed to do, was to help make that transition to where students now are more comfortable in the high school setting, and they've been wrapped around with those supports so that they've been able to move at their own pace learning, but at the same time be able to understand the expectations that come along with being a Clayton High School student. So we're very excited about the Comet Connection and looking forward to some great things that Ms. Van Erden and her team in the Comet Connection, our teachers and our counselor, have really implemented there. So great job, and kudos to everyone in the Comet Connection. Our last initiative was our 5th block schedule, and what the concept of the 5th block schedule is recognizing that learning is the constant. We try to provide an opportunity for students to have some flexibility in their daily schedule and ownership truly of what they wanted to do in high school, picking from interest-based opportunities. And the rationale that we utilized for implementing this 5th block was it promoted students to be involved in other activities. It gave them ownership of their time, and students were able to be finished with their 4 core classes before lunch, and then take a 5th block class for an enhancement or an acceleration or an interest-based opportunity. However, there were some problems that have been encountered with 5th block. There's been logistical issues with some of our teachers and some funding guidelines. There's been some inequity among staff members, where you have some staff members teaching 150 students and others teaching 70 or 80 if they didn't have a 5th block class. And so there's some inequity among staff members. Really an understanding of the options by staff, students, and parents, some confusion about what options were available and not available, who was going to do what, how were students going to be monitored or given credit for certain things. And so just some of that confusion led to some issues. But really the big one was the accountability measures for student movement. We had a lot of students that utilized 5th block to really enhance what they were doing. Unfortunately, we had a lot of students that utilized that time in not so productive methods. And the 5th block tended to be a time where people tried to roam or tried to move about really in an area where it wasn't productive, and not necessarily troublesome, but just not productive, not utilizing the time as what it was designed to do, which was designed to enhance and to support, not to be wasted. And so with that, with that conversation happening after much deliberation and discussion with various stakeholders, with the school improvement team, with the student leadership team, I decided that our schedule for next semester would not include the 5th block. And like I said, these were the problems that were encountered, and I decided we just can't move forward with our 5th block schedule next semester having these issues in place. So this is our schedule for the spring semester beginning on Thursday, January 10th. And aside from days that have alterations like early release, late arrival, advisories to pass out report cards and those things. This will be our daily schedule. And as you will see, students will go to first, second, and third block if they're in the 10th and the 12th grade, and then have a lengthened comment time, where comment time is now broken into 3 parts, A, B, and C. And then all students would go to fourth block beginning at 12:48. And so that would be the schedule for 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. On our 9th grader and our Comet Connection, they still will go to their A, B, and C courses during that time. And then the difference for 9th graders is that B and C, as identified on here, that Comet Time B and Comet Time C, students will be able to choose in the 9th grade where they want to go during that time. On the 10th through 12th grade side, students can choose from A, B, and C where they're going to be, so they can go to lunch during A, and then be in tutorials. B and C can take advantage of intramurals, can take advantage of clubs or other opportunities there. So really, all we did was we moved the time that 5th block was providing in the day and moved it into our lunch period. And so students are able to utilize that time. We did lengthen the courses during the day, so it gave a little more time. That was one of the concerns we heard, was that the periods were a little too short, and so we've added some time back into our blocks. But we're very excited about what Comet Time can be now for all of our students. We are going to implement a online accountability tool, and so your students will, during those first 3 days in advisory, will learn more information about the online accountability tool. But the online accountability tool will have every student to select the day before where they are going to be during these times. It will greatly enhance our accountability measures as to where students are and how students are progressing along in the during the course of the day. So this will be our daily schedule. I understand that it causes some angst. Some really like the 5th block and what it provided. Know that we still offer personalized learning opportunities and scheduling opportunities for students. Students can still have early release. They can do first, second, third, and then have early release, take their 4th class online, take the 4th class during Comet Time, or an enhanced class of 5th block during Comet Time if they chose to do so. So the opportunities are still there. But I just did not feel comfortable in moving forward with the 5th block schedule at this time. There was just too many holes and too many unanswered questions, really, and some of the things that we needed to do. And so I made this decision. I understand the angst that it creates in changing the schedule, but I feel like this is the step we need to do moving forward in terms of our daily schedule. So again, the highlights of our spring semester schedule: longer class periods. 9th graders will have lunch with the rest of the school. Comet Time is lengthened. We have more flexibility options now that there's 3 blocks of Comet Time. Students can move there. There's better accountability measures in place for our student movement to make sure our students are where they're supposed to be and when they're supposed to be there. And it is more aligned with a traditional bell schedule. Had we not implemented 5th block, this would have been very similar to the schedule we just started the school year with. So, as I stated often, we're not afraid to take risks. We're not afraid to try new things in how we serve our students and our community. However, we must also learn from our experiences and be willing to adapt when necessary. And I heard multiple concerns from various stakeholders about 5th block, and I think we need to be reflective. We need to be able to take a step back and revise and create a new plan as to how we can do. I will say I don't think the concept is bad. I think we just have some logistical concerns we need to figure out before we go forward in that type of schedule. And so we're going to take a step back. We're going to improve and really reflect on what happened and move forward into hopefully what we think is going to be even better schedule for our students long term in terms of creating some structure and accountability methods that are needed, but as well as still providing that crucial time where students can get that enhancement and remediation during the course of the school day. So that's where we are. That's what we're going to do moving forward into our spring 2019 schedule. So if there's any questions, people can certainly reach out to me and schedule a time. If parents want to have a meeting, certainly are welcome to reach out to me, and I'll be glad to meet and discuss any concerns that you may have. But we're very excited about the things that are happening. This is a great school. We are the 2nd largest school in the district, over 1,900 students, providing opportunities for students to really maximize their experiences in high school. It's great to be a Clayton Comet. It's a special thing, over 100 years of tradition at this school. And we're very excited about the future of what is ahead for Clayton High School in 2019. So I want to say thank you. Thank you all for your support of the bond. Very excited that the bond passed, and we're going to get some needed improvements here in the coming future at Clayton High School of some of the facility needs. So a lot of great things happening. A lot happening in our community. So I want to thank all of our parents for being involved and encourage every one of you to be involved. I want to thank all of our students for being great Comets All In. And thank you again to our staff for all the things they do each and every day to make this a great place to be. So thank you all. We look forward to a fantastic 2019. Thank you for being Comets All In. Jones out.